Look, aha, are here.
It's not us clapping.
Well, you can clap yourselves if you like. Go ahead. Yeah, there we are. Sounds much better now. We got Morton and Mags and Paul, and you'll notice I didn't decide in the end to do their last names because it's impossible for me because I'm not very bright, that's known. Now, a-ha formed in Oslo in the early 80s, and by the end of the decade they were enjoying international success with #1 hits Take On Me and Sun Always Shines on TV. After having one hiatus in the 90s, the band announced they were splitting for good in 2010, and then Max told a Norwegian newspaper at the time there's more chance of ABBA getting back together, and now here they are back together. What happened?
ABBA's back together as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's the rumor. That's the rumor.
So you were right.
That's what they told me, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah. So what's it like? I mean, I don't know about the history of the band in terms of, you know, if there was a falling out, but whether there was or whether there wasn't, what's it like being back?
Well, that's the hard question. It's very similar to what it's always been like.
And that was good?
And that is mainly good, but you want to also use 5 years apart to learn something and see if there are things we could do better.
Because you're about to tour, and that really is the test, isn't it? To see how everybody gets on.
I think the studio is a test very much as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the album's terrific, by the way, and that current single that we're playing on Radio 2, I think, Mags, could easily be a Bond theme, don't you? Because you did a Bond theme before.
Yeah, I think it sort of disqualifies you if you already did one for doing another one. I'm not sure. Maybe we should...
Yeah, don't be negative. We just need a Bond movie
to go with it.
Yeah.
I think there's one coming up, actually, very soon, yeah.
Now, you've missed that one, I'm afraid.
Oh, they've missed it, haven't they?
Yeah. What about the album then, Paul? You write the material together. What's been the process?
Not at all. No, I mean, we work in mysterious ways. Every album is a little bit different.
Just separate ways.
We're three very creative people, and every album is a new challenge. You know, how do we do this one? It was easier back when we lived in the same bedsit together, or the studio for that matter. You know, now I'm in America, they're in Norway. It's a little harder to get together, basically, but we get there in the end.
Did you always write like that? Did you go off into little corners and do your own stuff and then get back together?
Yeah, that's always been really there.
Well, it was more fluent back in the day. We'd come in the studio and be more sort of half-finished songs, and there would be reactions to half-finished songs. But there was always a starting point from an individual point of view. But, you know, there has been much more interaction in the past.
On that, though, I mean, I was just going to ask that, because if you were sort of working separately, how important was it for you that you kept checking that you'd got that distinctive sound?
I think it's there in the writing, it's there in the sort of choice of material, it's there in Morton's voice. It's kind of all over the place when we get in that mindset of writing. For me, the real surprise was coming back in. It changed my way of thinking, and it was like walking into a room where you knew where all the furniture were, sort of thing. Even if the others weren't there, the mindset, it sort of affected my writing to a huge degree, and it was a pleasant surprise.
Now, what about touring? Because I know that you're touring next year, right? And will that be the start of extensive touring and like that?
Well, we're actually starting in South America in a month's time. That's the first little warm-up, and then next year is in the spring, and that's Europe.
And will you play this current album as well, yeah? As well as the hits?
Well, some of it. That's always the difficult one, because a gig is only so long. You can only be on stage for a certain amount of time, and people expect a lot of the stuff they know from before, so it's a difficult one always to pick which songs to include.
Well, we've already played from the album Under the Makeup and The Wake, so as we go, I really liked Living at the End of the World and also Shadow Endeavours, and they're all kind of different, but they all have that ha-ha flavour. Tell us about the rest of the album and what you think.
I actually struggle a little at getting back into the vibe of the songs, because at the end of the recording, you are so fed up with the whole thing that you just need a break from it.
Really?
And then you go and do radio and talk about something you want to just not talk about. In a little while, it comes back to you and you start to hear the songs again. But at the end of a recording spree, or rather an album, it's really hard to get back into the excitement of it.
I think that this is a good interview because you guys are very honest.
After 30 years, we still don't have a sales pitch.
That's what you're saying.
That's refreshing.
But that is so refreshing. I mean, it really is better.
idiots for that. Now you call it refreshing.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, you clearly have some issues, which is good because a lot of bands are coming and say, well, yeah, we're doing the tour and everything's fine. And then after the tour, they say, well, we hate each other, really. We're never going to work again. But you guys, you've got it all out there, haven't you?
Promote the tour by saying we hate each other. No, but I try to find a different way, different approach.
No, but you go through different waves, really, of where you are. And we wouldn't have done this at all with our level of honesty. We wouldn't have done this if it wasn't something we really choose to do. Certainly at our age and our time in life, when you know pretty much what life is about and you learn through the years to appreciate the good things.
Yeah.
And we're doing this because we wanted to do it. At the end of such a process, you're knackered. And then you wake up again.
You very rarely hear people from Scandinavia use the word knackered.
I'll think of another.
No, we like it though, it's great. Aha's new album, Cast in Steel, is out tomorrow, and we're playing the single also, which does sound like a Bond theme on Radio 2. And we thank you guys for coming in and being so honest. It's Morten and Mags and Paul. Thank you very much, guys. Give yourselves a round of applause. Go ahead. It's okay, you can do that.